So let's take a look at the second from this 3D runner Kickstarter, and this one is called Holo Escape, and we can see a picture of Holo Escape here, and that is all you get. You get a picture and then you get the pieces, because this is a 2-in-1 puzzle where the idea is to create the puzzle and then it is to solve the maze. Now, you could look at that picture, and that picture pretty much gives you 3 sides and tells you how 3 of these panels are going to go together. But I am reliably informed all this can be solved using logic. So let's have a look at the pieces and see what logic we can employ. If we imagine these are like jigsaw pieces, we have female cutouts here and male cutouts sticking out. We have 2 females and all the rest are a mixture, and they're a mixture in such a way that they will chain together to allow 4 males on the bottom, 4 on the top. So that's how these will wrap around. So we can effectively call those 2 pieces there our male and our female. The other thing to note, I suppose, is obviously we've got a big cutout here, which is our entrance and exit to the maze, but also we have a smaller male piece. The female piece is the same, but the male piece is smaller. And here we have an extra cutout in our female piece. Now, there'd be no point in having those go together like this, because that missing voxel is just on the edge. However, having these go together, certainly this way rather than that way, means we can have a hook that kind of goes into and holds this in place. So these go together, and we know they go together like this. They could go together like that, in fact, and everything would just be mirrored, and you could make a mirrored maze. So let's put these 2 together, and what I'm going to look for is a piece that hooks into this so that this can fold up, if you like, and click into place. So for example, this is a hook here. However, the hook needs to not have a large part here, but I need a small sticky out part. So I'm looking for a hook with a small part. And yeah, this one seems to be the only one. So that can go in like this. Now I'm not actually going to press fit this together, but we can see this small part has to go in there. So it had to be a small part. So that is how these would fit together. I'm just going to lay it down and try and use this base here. And we have a small sticky out piece here. And if we look at the direction of these clip holes, you can imagine that these kind of 4 larger pieces will cross over like a hashtag. So we need a long piece that's going to go kind of in this general direction, which will interact with this sticking out voxel. And looking at our 4 pieces, this is the only one. So it will go this way. So that will clip in, and then that will go down there. Now again, we've made another gap. This is, a gap that's created. So something's going to slot into here. So it's going to slot into this piece, but then go either side of these voxels that are sticking out. That's one too big, so that's too wide, you see. So having a smaller one This would work. Which way would it work? It would work both ways. Now this sticks out too far. Okay, so that's no wiggle room, that sticks. We have created more gaps here. So how do we fill a small gap, maybe with a small piece? Yeah, this would fit in. I'd have to put that in first. And that's what that small hole would be for. Will that work? Maybe I need to put this in here first, then close it up. There very much is an order of operations here. So I'm kind of building this core up. Now there will be a preferred order of operations. I'm hoping my way will at least get us into a stable enough position. So here we go. These pieces are beautifully cut as always from 3D Runner. So that matches up there. What's going to match up over on this side? Well, it has to be one of these two pieces. Can't be this one because of the direction of those two clips. So it's this, and it must be flipped. So that will clip into there, which means on the top I'm going to need another big run, which I've got two of here. This way or this way. Not quite the same, I seem to have a small hole here. If I can work out my top and my bottom. So I've got a small hole there, so this would work. As would that. Quite a few options. Well, we know that this one's going to go across, so this one must go this way at some point. Let's have a look. So that hole's already been taken up by the small piece. So actually that, I've already got in the right orientation. Will slot down nicely. Which gives us a bit more information on this end piece. So on this end piece here, I can see three of my pieces going in the same direction, as in my holes are vertical. So it must be this piece that goes like that, which means that small piece sticks this way. So it's effectively like this. So that's going to go like that. This is my top. To be that way or that way. That way, in fact. On this side, I have a horizontal piece with a hole, vertical piece with a hole. So that's like that. Okay, so I've got my general setup. Now these pieces, both got clips on, and they must fit in. I can imagine on the screen it's not that easy to see all this clear acrylic, but it's not too bad in real life. In order of operations here, I need to have this piece out of the way to get this one in. That could be a bit fiddly. There we go. Shot too far. There we go. I'm actually pretty sure I could have started clipping some of these pieces in to that bottom plate there. This just needs to slide along. Now it's so precisely cut, you have to be careful. A little bit of dexterity, certainly the way I'm doing it. Take these two pieces out. I'm going to reset back to where I was. It's this one that was tricky, so maybe I'll try and get this one in first. Okay, so now we have just this last one to put in. Right, now all my pieces should be all in line. And now it's a case of putting the sides on. It won't matter the order I put the sides on. Let's see how aligned I have it all. So there will be a little bit of wiggling, I'm sure. I should probably start with the side which has the lowest amount of wiggling, but right hand dominance. Now it says on the instructions that you do have to kind of press fit them, so a little bit of force is okay, but just be careful not to apply too much force. And they're so accurately cut, everything does have to be lined up. So if you feel like it's not going, it's probably because just something isn't quite as it should be. So let's have a look. May leave that piece, come back to it, see if everything lines up elsewhere first. You can certainly feel when it's all going together, so they've clipped in now. There we go. everything's holding together. At some point I do have to put this ball bearing in before I close everything up. So let's see if I can keep it in as I attach the remaining 3 faces. No, I couldn't. I'll drop it in there in just a second. Yeah, these faces are going on beautifully now. This was on the front. And then on the top. And there we have it. That is the build for Holo Escape. I think it took me about 15 minutes. That is a lovely, lovely idea to have to build that yourself. And it's just the right level of tricky. It is not overly complicated. You can see the logic that goes into a build like this. And it's not obvious how to solve the puzzle, even though I put the pieces together. So that'll be my next thing. See if I can work out. There we go. How to get the ball bearing out, and then I should be able to get the ball bearing everywhere. So it'd be nice to play with this maze, get to know this little maze a bit better. Absolutely wonderful accompanying puzzle for the Kickstarter.